Good evening, my viewers. Today, I'm very selfish. I will never be able to do that experiment if I wouldn't have my channel. And I would like to meet with someone that I never met before. I saw her on YouTube, and I think she's my sister from the past life. Because I have the channel, I'm going to do that experiment. For the viewers who are expecting to have readings about politics today, no, sorry. Next time I will be focusing on the politics, but today I'm going to be experimenting something that not everyone can have ability to do it. I would like to meet with Charis Melina Brown. She is YouTuber too. She has her channel since, I believe, 2010. And she is spiritual healer. She is a healer. She writes books. And she's a very interesting person. But that was not the reason I was interested in her. The story will be probably told more when I will be doing the reading in connection with her. So I'm waiting for her to connect with me on a Zoom, and I'm just hoping it will work. I thought, oh, why not? It's something so unusual. I will never experience this before, and I never met you, so my viewers and your viewers can know that we never spoke yet until today. Can I introduce you to my viewers first?
Yes, certainly.
Okay. Charis Melina Brown is someone that I spotted 4.5 years ago. We were visiting in the summer my son, who was living in Jasper. And he had a new apartment, and I wanted to smudge his apartment. So with his help, actually, we both were looking for someone who will show us how to smudge the place. And I saw you. And I told my guys to go and get lost to the town, and I was hooked. I was watching you. I couldn't explain why. But I was watching one video after another, and when my husband and my son came back, Leszek asked me, oh, you like her? And I said, I don't know, I think I know her. And it was so odd. We've lived there for many years. But once in a while, because I had you on my favorites, so subscribers, so I was seeing you once in a while, and Leszek as well. And not long ago, he asked me, why you were not so sure that you like her or not? What was that thing about it? We were here in this place, and after some video, and I said, just ask me. So as you know, you have probably seen a few of my videos. He held my hands and he said, what is about Charis? And I went to India many hundreds ago. And I saw us as sisters. I don't know if we were twin sisters, but we were sisters. Our mother was a healer, because the house was one-room house with a lot of things hanging from the ceiling. Like things for medication use, weeds and so on. So that was the feeling, and we were both preparing to be dancers. So we were practicing dancing since we were very little. And then you were accepted to be a dancer for the temple. I didn't know too much about that was a privilege to be a dancer in a temple, but it's it's a dedication for the whole life for the woman to be a dancer. And I have to tell you, I was jealous because you were accepted and I wasn't. And I'm not a jealous person. But I became blind eventually. I was young and losing my sight. So that was something. And I know eventually I was palm reading people's hands when I was blind by just touching them. It's all this life, the things that came true to me. Well, I was granted the abilities to dance. Not that I dance. And when I close my eyes, I see visions. And I think that's, again, related to that being blind in that life. This life, I was palm reading when I was a teenager, because I founded my grandmother book about palm readings, and so that was more for picking up boys. I was very popular on any party or any school party because I was able to do those palm readings. So I thought, why not? When we started 1.5 years ago this channel, I was always thinking how successful you were with your channel, how adoring you are as a person. And there is we are both sharing the spiritual abilities. I wonder if you have any, and when you are talking with your hands. In old videos, I have seen you wearing this mark. Do you feel any connection with that life?
I do. It's interesting that you would talk about dancing because I don't think I've ever shared this publicly before. I don't think so. I've talked about it in my personal life though. So I love to dance. I definitely feel like I dance in very ancient ways. Like it always feels kind of like a cross between tribal and belly dance and ballet and some crazy things that my body can do. However, whenever I go out and dance, so if I'm going to go into a group, like a club or a party or a festival, I don't like to be on the edge. I like to be in the middle of people because I don't like anyone to see me.
Are you kidding?
I'm so serious. And it's funny because I swear to you, I've said this before. I've said, I feel like because I know there's magic that comes off of me when I move my body, especially if I'm running those codes, because, it's also sensual and sexual and all these things. And I said to myself, I think I had a past life and I don't know if this is that past life, but I think it's connected. And so I remembered that. But I think also a big thing in my life has been not wanting to shine too bright to make other people insecure. So if I had empathed that in that past life and I'm sure I did feel guilty. I mean, you're my sister. I loved you. I want us both to get in the temple, right? So it makes sense.
I knew it was not your fault. It was something that I couldn't achieve because of the problems with my eyes. And I was not happy in that life. So I thought, maybe that's the reason I'm having some edge towards you, but I was glued to you. Even Leszek was joking, you told us to get lost and you were watching the Skype and the YouTube. And if you have some gifts in this life, I'm always thinking that that's what is related to, that we are still able to keep the gifts from the previous lives. Like this life, I never was painting, never took any painting lessons, but maybe I will show you all those paintings above me are painted by me.
Wow, those are amazing.
So, it is something that I was not taking any classes, but in a previous life, I found myself as a painter in Russia.
Yeah, I do think that when we train in our lives, in our past lives, maybe not every time, but I do think that often we keep the wisdom that we learn. And I really do believe that it's easier to remember past lives than people think. For many people, not necessarily every single person, but often people ask me what it's like. I'm like, I reply that it's like when it is, if you remember a memory from when you were very small, from when you were 3, 4 years old, that quality, yeah, it's moments and feelings and impressions. And that's what it's, at least for me, that's what it's like to remember past lives. It's about the same as when I try to remember my life in this life when I was 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old.
Is there anything that you would like to share about your past lives?
Sure. Yeah, I would. Well, first off, what's coming up is of course star heritage, right? From being from other places. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's often a misunderstanding between people understanding when you have starseed lineage in your soul. A lot of times people think that you just have come to Earth for the first time this life. But yeah, it's you shaking your head. Yeah, I don't think so either. I remember coming to this planet before there were people and assisting to help set, because I was a humanoid extraterrestrial, and helping to set the stories and program the crystals and help build the land masses on this planet so that humans could live here. Mm-hmm. And I've been incarnating here ever since, off and on. And so although I feel like I've had many, many more lives elsewhere, mm-hmm. I also feel like I've been here on Earth, but I have a perspective from this not being my original home. So that's one of the main things that's coming up. And also just, I have a very deep desire, especially because in my own personal life, I'm finding ways to interact with people so that they don't get uncomfortable when I share that I'm a mystic, and when I share that I do magic, and when I share that I know things. And so what I really want, and I don't know how this is going to happen, but I would love to experience a reality where it is more obvious, where we can do more. It can be, I still think that human consciousness, even my own, is somewhat close to it. As much as I do believe, I know that there's so much farther and things that I've been able to do in other lives that I have not allowed myself to do yet this life, because it was so out of what I knew that I was maybe afraid to go full on, because I didn't necessarily know if that would be safe for me and for the people around.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you so much for ability to meeting you. And I was so stressed out whole day because I knew that I would talk to you. My hair was so full of electricity. I couldn't believe it. From morning till just an hour ago, they kind of settled, but they were like full of energy. Like, when you are walking through the big corridor with carpet, they were puffy. And I thought, well, so it is some connection with someone. Yeah, I think it is so unusual. I never heard about anyone doing this before, and I'm glad you were not shocked, you were not upset. Always I thought that I know you. I knew you, but it is that you know someone, but you don't. And I wanted to have that communication with you one day. And today I granted myself.
Well, I'm so glad to have met you. I hope that a lot of people get activations from this. I think that maybe some of the people watching will maybe get little trembles in their own
I would love to hug you, but...
Oh, yes, virtual hugs. Thank you so much, Violetta.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Have a beautiful day.
I would like to invite you to the private reading with me. Please visit www.psychicvioletta.com. Click Book Online. Choose the type of reading. Choose the link, choose the date and the time. Fill out your informations. Click the Pay Now button with your credit card or debit card. And you're all done.